Okay, so the first thing we're going to have to do is outline our material. And as I said, what we're going to be using is a 12 by 12 piece of square aluminum. I'm actually going to start at our 0 point, run it over to 12, and run it up to 12. That way we know we have a perfect 12 by 12 square. Come down, hit our green check mark. Alright. Let's pan up. Get a good view of our material. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create some center lines. So we'll come up and we'll click line. And we're going to run it right through the 6-inch mark. It doesn't have to be perfect. Come over at our green check, and we're going to do the same thing horizontally. Just create a line right through the center, right at the 6. Come down and hit our green check. Okay. Okay, now we have to begin to create our circles for our cutouts. And that's the reason I created the center line. Now our inside diameter where these pipes are going to run through are going to be 3.5 inches. Rather than try to figure that out here, we're going to roll over to the parameters box. I'm going to highlight diameter, and we're going to plug in 3.5. If you come over, see we have a perfect 3.5 inch circle. Come over here and hit our green check mark. Okay. Now we also need to put in a set of circles for our bolt pattern. And I have calculated that to be, the first is a diameter of 3.085. I'm sorry, radius 3.085. Hit our green check mark. Okay, and we are going to create another circle. At 4 inches. Let's come over here, radius. Highlight it, if I can get it. Change that to 4. Okay, got that. Come back and hit our green check mark. Okay, so we have our 12 by 12 square. You know what? Just to make sure, click on this, check our parameters. Looks like we got 12 inches. And I'll check this line. Check our parameters, 12 inches. I'm going to check our inner circle here. 3.5 inch diameter, perfect. We'll check our outer templates, 3.085, perfect. And this one should be 4 inches. Perfect, 4 inches. Okay. So we have our basis for our template. Now, what we need to do is create some divisionary lines for our triangular bolt pattern to fit in. I'm going to kind of zoom in here a little, and I'm going to go 2 boxes with 2 inches to the right. Come down and hit our green check. Gonna go 2 boxes to the left. Alright, man. Down and hit our green check. Okay, this will be our first division for our bolt pattern. Okay, now we need to create our other 2 pattern holes. I'm going to come down to this first box here. Come over and hit our green check. And I'm going to do the same thing on the right side. Just come down to first box. Okay. Come over here and hit our green check. Okay. Now if you could, it's kind of hard to see, but we have our 2 boxes here for this piece of the pattern, and we have our 2 boxes for this piece of the pattern. So now when I start trimming this, it's all going to make sense. Just delete this line. This line we do not need. Okay, now we're going to start to trim. Come up, find our trim feature. Get rid of this piece of the line. I'll get rid of this piece of the line. Same thing on this side. Rid of this piece of the center line, rid of this piece of the center line. We can also trim these away. I don't need these. Pretty soon it's all going to come together, ladies and gentlemen. Trim these outside lines. Trim these inside lines. Now, here we go. Trim out that little section, that section. Now this section, and this section. Now this section. This section. Basically what we're doing is taking out all of our reference lines. And there we have it, our 12 by 12 sheet with our cutouts for the center and the triangular bolt pattern. So we're going to go ahead and save this. We'll call it LB template. Put the day's date and save. Let's go into cam. Looks like we have another line to get rid of. I'll just highlight that and delete that. We'll save it again. Same file name, LB template 04/15/2020. It's going to ask us if we want to replace. I'm going to hit yes. Now let's check it out in CAM. And as you can see, the center line disappeared. These red dotted lines are our cut pattern. So what we have to do now is to generate a G code. LB template 04/15/2020. Give that a save. Okay. Alright, now we just have to give it about 10-15 seconds and we will pull up our G code.